going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. And today's match day, people, as Arsenal face Bayer Leverkusen in a pre-season friendly at the Emirates, back at the Emirates Stadium. And looking forward to the game. I'm going to the game tonight. So obviously there'll be no live stream, unfortunately, but we will be back for the start of the season with their live streams and so on and so forth. So yeah, looking forward to that. Big up to everyone who's going. Hopefully see some of the community at the game tonight. And we'll see what happens, people. Hopefully we'll get a win and some decent football and so on and so forth. But listen, big up to everyone locked in. Hope you're well. Hit the like button, subscribe and all of that good stuff, people. And we'll be talking transfers. Big up to everyone locked in. Hope you're well. Why is Merino deal taking so long? It's Arsenal, bro. When do Arsenal ever get deals done quickly? One thing you should be used to as an Arsenal fan is deals dragging. You know, we more than drag deals, that is for sure. And this is no different to any other, to be honest. I expect it to happen, but definitely gonna continue to drag. We don't know why. I think maybe, like I said yesterday, I think possibly we could be looking at other options. That's my opinion. I think we could still be thinking, is there a better option out there? He is 28. We know that Arsenal are on this Project Youth, and every player they go for, they seem to be looking at a certain age bracket. So you have to wonder, are they potentially looking at somebody else? A lot of people yesterday were suggesting Bruno Guimaraes. Whether that's true or not, we'll have to see about that one. So yeah, listen, but we're looking forward to the game tonight anyway, and we'll see what happens. There are a few rumours going around. How true this is, I don't know. Apparently, Jurrien Timber didn't travel with the group this morning when they left the training ground, which is a bit of a concern. He did train over there in Philadelphia for the open training session, because I saw rumours of people saying maybe Timber got injured in LA against Manchester United, but Timber actually played and trained in Philadelphia. So, I mean, who knows? Again, yeah, not a great source. It's somebody who obviously has said that he didn't travel. They saw the coach leave. Arsenal did say in their programme notes that they were going to take their time with him. Arteta spoke about why he's been playing at centre-back instead of full-back. He doesn't want to overload him with running. Obviously, a full-back bombs up and down the pitch. Centre-back maybe a lot less running to do. So, it could be a case of they're just taking their time. Maybe he plays in the Lyon game at the weekend as well. And maybe they've just decided not to give him too much game time moving forward. And, but it's a shame. I think a lot of Arsenal fans wanted to see him play. And it looks like he may not be in the squad. Who knows? He could be getting treatment at the training ground. He could be doing some gym work. He could already be there. There's no suggestion. There are plenty of times where players don't travel with the team and they're still involved. I'll be a little bit disappointed because I would like to see him play tonight. And I think he's a fantastic player. The other rumour as well is that Calafiori hasn't travelled, which again would be interesting. He hasn't played yet for Arsenal, but he turned up a little bit late in pre-season. Obviously went to the Euros with Italy, and he is potentially out as well. Calafiori, obviously the new signing, the only new signing so far. A lot of fans would have been keen to see him tonight. And there are rumours he's not involved. Again, these are only rumours. We could turn up to the game tonight and these guys are both in the squad. As I said, no watch along tonight. Unfortunately, I will be at the game, taking Cruz to the game as well. So we'll be at that one. So yeah, maybe no Timber, maybe no Calafiori. Possibility they'll be involved on the weekend. Listen, like I said, they could be involved tonight, but the rumours are that they haven't travelled with the rest of the squad. Yeah, Calafiori's been tweeting North London Forever songs and all that kind of thing. So we'll have to see what happens with that one. I thought reading into those tweets that was the excitement of a player that's going to make his debut tonight, putting out tweets like that. But we'll have to see. As I said, not travelling doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to play. So we'll see what happens with that one. There's obviously a few transfers going around in the world of football. Not Arsenal, of course. We're not doing a lot at the moment, but let's hope we're doing the work in the background. Obviously, Julian Alvarez is going to sign for Atletico Madrid. £83 million from Manchester City. They paid 15 million for him. And he's on his way. Oh, apparently it's not even a real Calafiore account, so there you go. They paid 15 million for him, Manchester City, and they've got 83 million pounds for him, which is unbelievable, really, when you consider, the amount of profit they've made in 2 years. He is a fantastic player. I am glad to see a good player leaving Manchester City, if I'm being honest. But that's £83 million on the hip. Are they going to go into the striker market? I would be surprised if they purely went with Haaland, considering Haaland was injured for 2 months last season. So, as I've been saying for a little while, if Arsenal do want to buy a striker, I think they need to get a move on. There are a number of strikers that are potentially going to be moving in this window. We don't want to get left behind. Nifan said, Timber has been struggling with a load-bearing injury as per Gary Jacob. He's not expected to be involved. Well, there you go. I think they're going to really take their time with him. I wouldn't expect him maybe to be playing the start of the season. I think they'll really ease him into the team very slowly. We've also seen Solanke people. Boyhood Arsenal fan. A lot of people were linking him to Arsenal. I was saying no Lanky, I was saying. But Tottenham are very interested in him. 60 to 65 million apparently are the numbers that Bournemouth want, and it's believed Tottenham are getting closer to getting that deal done. So it's interesting, the dynamics of the striker market. We knew Tottenham were looking for a striker. We knew Manchester United were. United have signed Xerxes. Tottenham look like they're going to get Solanke. Chelsea are looking at a striker from Atletico Madrid. Don't know too much about him. There are potential moves out there for us to do. Still Gyökeres, still Ivan Toney, still Victor Osimhen, and we're going to speak about Osimhen shortly. Liverpool are exploring a move for Zubimendi. 60 million release clause in his contract. Talks will follow. Interesting, when we were linked with Zubimendi, we heard he wasn't really interested in coming to the Prem. Liverpool being linked with him seems as if he may be more open to the deal. Maybe the success of Klopp and Liverpool over the last few years has changed his mind. Zubimendi could be heading to Liverpool. Tyler said, what's happening, Big C? First time back in the channel for 2 months. Glad to be back. Big up to everyone locked in. Hope you're well. Thank you for your support over there on the tour. And listen, we got lots of content to come. We're really going to step the channel up this season. Got to hit that 100k this season, and hopefully even this year. War Eagle, thank you for the super chat. Save Timber up. Rather have him 100% fit for the Prem than risk him in a meaningless friendly. I agree. We have to take our time. ACL injury, one of the worst injuries. And you've got to get it right, to be honest. Ornstein has said they would have to convince Zubimendi to go to Liverpool. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Let's talk Arsenal. And let's start with Zinchenko. Zinchenko yesterday puts out this announcement that he's changing his squad number. Now, not going to be disrespectful. I think some Arsenal fans would have liked him to have changed his squad number, but maybe even changed the club of that squad number as well. I'm just saying, some fans, not all fans, just some fans. I've said before, I think he could be a good midfielder. Not necessarily a midfielder that starts every week for Arsenal, but a good squad rotation midfielder. Left-footed, good on the ball. It's his natural position. You keep him as a backup and an emergency at left-back. However, he's gone from number 35 to number 17, and it's this squad that he will be changing his number with. Listen, I think we all knew Vincent Kompany came into Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich were being linked with Zinchenko. Vinny said no chance. Company said no way are they signing him. They're not going to let go of Alphonso Davies and bring in Zinchenko. It just isn't going to happen. He's going to stay at the club. He's changed his squad number. He's put out some long, statement of how happy he is and how he wanted to change his number. I've always said, and I stand by this, I actually think Zinchenko is a talented footballer. I actually do. I don't think he's a good defender. And I don't even blame him for that. The guy is not a natural defender. He was put at left back by Pep Guardiola in an emergency because Mendy was all kinds of madness was going on with Mendy at Manchester City. He was obviously found not guilty of that. They put Zinchenko at left back. They won the league. A year later, they sell him. We play him at left back and we're going, he's rubbish at left back. I actually don't jump on that sort of thought process of, I don't like destroying him as a left back because he's not a left back. You know, if we put Odegaard at left back now, is he going to look great at left back? He's not. Oh, he's left footed. No, he can't defend. Zinchenko is a very average defender, and a lot of good right wingers cause him a whole heap of problems. To me, I'm using him in rotation as a midfielder. And listen, he can be fourth choice left back. I'd rather play Calafiori, Timber, Tomiyasu, and he could be the fourth choice. Simple as that. Now, yeah, RSPB saying he cost us the title, but listen, if you're not comfortable in a certain position and your manager is saying play at left back, you have to look at the manager. It's as simple as that. Cello said Saka is a better left back than Zinni. He might be. You know, Kieran Tierney is a better left back than him. So for me, I would use him in rotation in midfield and as an emergency left back. However, I probably expect him to play at left back the first game of the season because it looks like Timber's not going to be ready. And it also looks like Calafiori might not be ready, depending on whether he plays tonight. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. And as I said, we have a tough start to the season. You know, just as an example, if we're looking at Arsenal's fixtures at the start of the season and we're looking at the wingers we could be playing against, we start with Wolves. That's Pedro Neto. Nobody wants to see Neto against Zinchenko. Then we go to Villa Park. Well, we saw what Leon Bailey did to him last season. He practically ended our season, right? So we don't want to see that. We then go to Brighton. I'm not sure who their left winger is. Is it Solly March? Right winger, sorry. Then we play Tottenham, Kulusevski. Then we play Man City. You just don't want to see it. You do not want to see him at left back at the start of the season. So we've got to get Calafiori fit, or we've got to get Timber in at left back. So we'll see. We'll see. Listen, I think that the club should have been open-minded about moving him on this summer. I believe from what I've seen and read, I don't think there was a lot of interest in him. And I think that's why they've kept him. I think if a club turned up with 30 million quid plus, we might have considered it. But I just don't think clubs were really in for him. Zinni said, I'm not leaving, man. Leonardo DiCaprio settings. Not only is he not leaving, he's got a new squad number. So, yeah, he definitely ain't going nowhere. So, Zinchenko stays and probably starts the season at left back. So, yeah, make of that what you will, people. Unless we get Calafiori quickly up to speed and he starts. But that would be a bit of a long shot, in my opinion. I think he'll take him a little bit of time. We'll have to see what happens with that one. He can be our cheerleader. I think he'll be playing, bruv. I think he'll be at left back. He might start at left back tonight. Zinni and Eddie in 2024, please. Just please don't. Do you know what? The Eddie thing is more frustrating than Zinchenko. Zinchenko, the interest isn't there. You can't sell somebody that people don't want to buy. But Eddie genuinely had a good offer on the table. I think we should have accepted it. I hope we haven't messed that deal up and we end up having to keep him. And as I said, I do applaud the club when they try and get more money for players, but you've also got to be realistic about what a player is worth and how many clubs are trying to get that player. So, Keros, I did see your message, bro. I'll give you a shout. I will give you a shout back. Big up, bro. Tierney is injured. So, again, how do you sell an injured player on 110 grand a week? Consistently injured as well. So, I think we're going to get into a situation where towards the end of this month, I think you will start to see players go out on loan. The likes of Tierney, maybe Reece Nelson. I think you will see a fire sale. I just hope we can sell some of these guys on permanent deals. Big up Alvin, who said he's going to the game tonight. Should be good. And listen, let's get one thing clear about tonight. This is a hard game. We lost our last game to Liverpool. Liverpool finished the game with 8 teenagers on the pitch. We want to go into the season on the back of some good form. And, you know, this is a game that if we don't perform, we'll get beat. So I really hope we play well and win tonight. Snake Eyes, big up, bro. I just seen your email. Got back from South Korea. Hope you enjoy. Yeah, I saw it. You messaged me about helping out with something we want to do in memory of Kevin Campbell. So I'm going to email you back, bro. Appreciate that. Luke said I'd rather see Kivior at left back. Yeah, possibly would. We can't even play Tomiyasu because he's injured as well. Right, let's get into a few things. Just quickly, for my FIFA, well, EAFC players, Footbin has released some player ratings. And listen, this ain't for everyone. Not everyone bangs FIFA or EAFC, whatever it's called. But I thought I'd show you some of the highest ratings anyway. Saliba up to 86. Gabriel up to 86, which is good to see. Arsenal over the last few years, I've had some real stinky player ratings on this game, man. Beyond probably when we had Sanchez, Ozil, Aubameyang, we've had some poor ratings. So Saliba and Gabriel up to 86. I think Saliba should be higher. I'm going to be honest, especially after the Euros he had. I would have liked to have seen him at 87, 88. Yeah, they haven't done some of the others too great. Zinchenko 79, Timber 79. Tomiyasu, yeah, Calafiori's down at 77. Probably got to prove himself. Going into the midfield, Declan Rice up at 87. Odegaard at 88. They really give him the big upgrade. I like that. Fair enough. Odegaard's been cooking for us for a while. Declan Rice gets up to 87. Jorginho hanging on at 83. Partey at 83. Fabio Vieira down at 77. I mean, to be honest, and listen, you know me, I speak my truth here, people. Fabio Vieira, I mean, he's lucky that he's a rare gold. He should probably be, you know, a common gold or a silver. I'm going to be honest. What have they given him as physical? He's got 52 physical. I think that's probably a bit too much. But, hey, we'll move on from that. Let's go to the attackers. What they're giving us in attack. Bukayo Saka, a.k.a. Starboy, 88 rated. Martinelli, 85. Havertz, 84. Jesus, 84. Trossard, 83. Reece Nelson down at 76. What pace? 90 pace for Martinelli, 89 pace for Saka. Saka got some good stats there, man. Some of the stats don't make sense. 72 physical for Saka, 76 for Martinelli. I would say Saka's stronger than him, but hey, it is what it is. So yeah, a few decent players on FIFA this year. Or I still call it FIFA. It is EAFC, isn't it? Trossard should be 84. Yeah, maybe. Rice and Saka should be the same. Gabriel Jesus should be 86. He just can't. He's injured too much. He's injured. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk real football. Yeah, Eddie's rating. Was Eddie's rating even on there? They didn't even list him. He must be lower than 76 rated. So, yeah, there we go. Right, let's talk transfers, people. Let's talk transfers. What is going on at Arsenal Football Club? When are we going to get new players through the door? Mikel Merino, the one we've been talking about, I thought he would have... I actually thought last week, the conversations we were having in America, I thought he would have been an Arsenal player by today. I thought he'll be involved in the squad. I mean, involved, we haven't even... Apparently, we haven't even made an offer yet, officially, according to Fabrizio. Now, this story is coming from Spain today. And they're saying Arsenal remain Mikel Merino's most likely destination. It is likely a move will materialise in the coming days. Mikel Arteta has personally endorsed the transfer while Merino has discarded other clubs that were interested in signing him. Now, I said this yesterday. I'm looking at all three areas of Arsenal this summer. And when I say that, I'm looking at the ownership, I'm looking at the transfer negotiator, and I'm looking at the manager. Three things. Are the owners giving the money to Edu to sign the players? Is Edu negotiating the deals in the right manner and getting the deals done? Is the manager coaching the players properly, asking the right players to come to the football club and selling the right players? In this situation here of a player being bought, this to me is down to the ownership or Edu. It's actually not Mikel Arteta. He's identified a player. He's spoken to him personally. He's available for 30 million. His wages are 50 grand a week. What is going on? Why is Mikel Merino not an Arsenal player? If the manager has asked for him, he's available, his wages are acceptable. Are we waiting to sell somebody? Do we have to get somebody else out the door before we can get this deal done? I'm trying to figure out why this deal isn't happening. Now, like I said, maybe because the Athletic are saying Arsenal are still looking at various other centre midfielders. So maybe we are trying to get somebody that they believe is better than him, and this is just the backup option. If that's the case, cool. No problem. If you're looking at Frankie de Jong or you're looking at, I'm just throwing names out there as examples, then you might think, let's not do the Merino deal yet because we think we can get a better player. I understand that. However, surely, and I understand the transfer window doesn't finish until the end of the month, so equally, we have to have a little bit of patience because we could sign 4 players in 10 days and all of a sudden this is a 9 out of 10 window. But as we're standing here at the moment, I'm starting to panic about this window. I am. Because I know people will say give it until the end of the month. However, my mindset is always first game of the Premier League season. You play 4 or 5 games before that first game of the Premier League season. You drop points in 2 or 3 of them, you're already panicking. You're already scrambling. So one signing at this stage is just crazy. It really is. Big up Villarreal Fan TV. I just saw your email as well. Give me a message about Merino. Give me some insight. I want to know more about him. I think personally that Arsenal need to sell some players. That's my opinion. I think that the wage bill is high. I think they're expected to have got rid of people like Nketiah, Ramsdale, Nelson. They also didn't get a permanent deal for Lokonga, so they've had to loan him out. I think Partey was a player that they would have got rid of at the right price, and they haven't. And I think they probably waiting to... We sat there at the end of last season and we said, Arsenal make 100 million easily from player sales, right? Easily 100 million. You sell Ramsdale 30 million. You sell... Smith Rowe, 35 million or 34 million. That's 64 million already. You're then looking at maybe Nketiah at 30 million. You're at 90 million already. You can then get rid of maybe Nelson for 20 million. I actually thought we'd make more than 100 million. At this stage, we've only made the 34 million. So I think we're 60, 70, 80 million behind where we expected to be financially. And that's why I think the window... is moving very slow for us, which is frustrating. And as I said, a lot of people are messaging me, Curtis, it's, the window closes at the end of August. Don't panic yet. And I understand that. But equally, before that window closes, there's a number of important games. We can't afford to drop points. And we need to be ready. I think as Arsenal fans, we're just frustrated because a lot of the time, over the years, the window has closed and we've said... we still need a striker. We still need a defensive midfielder. So we just want to have a window where we say, we got the striker, we got the midfielder, we got the right winger. Let's see what happens with this one. Hopefully it does materialise over the next few days and the deal gets done. Or if that one doesn't get done, let's hope we get somebody even better. I don't mind if it isn't him, if we get somebody even better than him. No problem. But we've got to get somebody and we definitely need a midfielder. So let's see what happens with that one. Big up Samuel. Big up Samuel. I met him over there in LA. Quality banter from him as always. He's always giving me a tough time in the comments. But big him up, man. It's always good to meet parts of the community, members of the community, sorry, at games. So hopefully I'll see some of you at the game tonight if you're on your way to the game tonight. Zeke said, glad you're safe and well, Big C, and big up the community. It's been a poor window so far. 2 loans, 1 player sold, and 1 signing in that 180 page book. It's crazy, isn't it? It is crazy when you think about it. I mean, things can happen quickly, but a lot needs to happen. We've only got, what, 3 weeks until the window shuts, so let's see what happens. A player that could be on his way out, but again, we're playing a waiting game, is Aaron Ramsdale. As I said, I think the football club, felt that this deal would have got done earlier. I felt at the end of last season a lot of clubs would want Aaron Ramsdale. He's English, he's in his mid-20s. I think he's a good goalkeeper. He's better than Chelsea's keeper. He's probably better than Brighton's keeper. I think he's better than Newcastle's goalkeeper in Pope. He's been ahead of him in the pecking order for England. So I think the club felt there would be a lot of interest in him. However, he's almost a forgotten man, out of sight, out of mind. You're not playing. You're not in the England team. You go to the back of the queue, really. And Wolves are considering signing Aaron Ramsdale as a replacement for Jose Sarr. Jose Sarr's being linked with a move away. They plan to include Dan Bentley in the deal. Oh, wow. So exciting. That would be interesting. Dan Bentley, we obviously had a £50,000 offer rejected. Apparently, they want between 500,000 and £1 million for him. Arsenal apparently want around 40 million for Aaron Ramsdale. Listen, I think he's worth 40 million in this day and age when you look at goalkeepers. But I'm just not sure we'll get it for him, to be honest, with the way his value is at the moment. Now, the question Arsenal have got is, if you get to the end of this window and you haven't got a suitable offer on the table for him, do you keep him for a season, again, as a squad player, which only devalues him even more, or do you loan him out, hope that he goes to a Wolves or Southampton or Forest, those are the clubs being linked with him, gets 40 games, does well, and his value goes up? I don't know. He seems like too good a player for Arsenal to be loaning out, but he's also too good a player for Arsenal to just keep on the bench for the rest of the season. He's obviously not going to get in ahead of Raya. They've made that clear that Raya is number 1. So this again becomes a very complicated and difficult situation. Ideally, you would rather you sold him and got the money. You can replace him. You can maybe go and reinvest that. You can't really afford to keep him if you're not going to play him. And for his own sake, he's not going to want to sit on the Arsenal bench. His England place is going to disappear from him. And listen, England have got a new manager. He will want to put pressure on Jordan Pickford. I mean, that's great quote there from Nick. Get Neto for Ramsdale and a bit of cash. It's a no-brainer. One thing that's crazy is you do not see swap deals very often in football, do you, anymore? Surely, Neto would be ideal at Arsenal, right winger. They want Ramsdale. You say, look, we'll give you Ramsdale, you give us Bentley and Neto, and we'll give you some cash on top of it. But swap deals don't seem to happen, really. Maybe we've been scarred from the Mkhitaryan and Sanchez one, but this is a difficult one. It is difficult. I get the impression that clubs are not really desperate to sign Aaron Ramsdale, and it's difficult. It is difficult. I'm worried that we end up loaning him out. Because I don't think they will allow him to sit on the bench for another 12 months. But let's hope somebody comes in for him, maybe late in the window. Listen, if Wolves sell Jose Sarr, they're going to need a goalkeeper. They've got a bit of money. Maybe they would invest that. Arsenal apparently want 40. I think if you could get 30 million, your money back, in this situation, Arsenal may have to take it, but it's disappointing because he should be a player that we made profit on. Jim said Chiesa, cheaper option. Yep, Chiesa has been left out of the tour for Juventus, and Thiago Motta has made it clear he wants to sell him. Apparently 25 million euros, which is around 21 million pound. Chiesa could be a good option on the right, but as that injury sort of ruined him. hasn't looked the same player for me post ACL injury. Even though Neto has been injury prone, he has still looked brilliant when he's played. That's my only thing that would make me possibly take a risk on Neto over Chiesa, but Chiesa would be a lot cheaper. So we'll have to see what happens with that one. But again, interesting. Who is the mystery German? I think that was a story that was put out there that was very easy to say, oh, Arsenal are going to sign a German or Arsenal are going to sign a Spanish player. There was always a chance we'd be linked with a German player or a Spanish player. It hasn't happened, so as far as I'm concerned, it meant very little. The rumour was that it was Leroy Sané, but who knows. David, big up, bro. He said, we saw Rambo after Arteta stole his smile. Took that smile away from him. His dad was fuming. You know, it's... I think sometimes the mistake that Arsenal make... Arsenal really, as crazy as this is, when we signed David Raya, that would have probably been the best time to sell Ramsdale, because Ramsdale had just had a very good season. He was named in the Premier League Team of the Year. Now, of course, Arteta's thinking, perfect, I've got 2 top quality goalkeepers here. But in terms of value, that would have been the best time to sell him. Now, I know there would have been a risk attached to that, because if Raya comes in, doesn't hit the ground running and you've sold Ramsdale, you have no suitable backup plan, even though Arsenal would have signed a second choice. So he wanted to have 2 quality goalkeepers, but you can't maintain that for more than 12 months. Well, Man City have with Ortega, but, you know, Ramsdale wants to get in that England team. So it's very difficult. Big up Samuel, he said, see you, Nick. It was an absolute pleasure getting to finally meet and greet you out in LA, Curtis. It was an awesome moment. Big up, bro. Appreciate your support as always. Rooftop Entertainment said you have been missed, Curtis. Welcome back. Hey, I appreciate it. Big up the community. Really appreciate the community. Unknown T said, preach big C, you sell players at their best. You have benched him and expect him to perform. And it's not even like he's been rotated. You know, he's genuinely sat down on the bench. Niffin said, Eddie to Bournemouth if Solanke goes. I mean, yeah, that would be great. But would they sell him to Bournemouth? I get the impression with Eddie thinks he's a better level of player than maybe he is. He's been in talks with Marseille. Marseille are a massive football club, European football. I'm not sure Eddie would even go to Bournemouth, to be honest. Just my opinion. 100 grand a week as well. Difficult for Bournemouth to give him that kind of wage, so I'm not sure he would go there, but yeah, we'll see. Final transfer story surrounding Victor Osimhen. Now, do you know what? I get to a point when I talk about players like this where there's not really even excitement in my voice. Number one, how good is he? Number two, are we really likely to make this happen? I'm not sure. I mean, the source is Ekrem Konor. He's a poor source, honestly. I'm going to be honest. I don't want to throw excitement into the fan base with this story. If it happens, cool, but don't get any levels of excitement. Now, the reason the story... Hey, Fiji water. Listen, Fiji. Anyone from Fiji is watching this. I'm drinking it daily right now. I'm trying to really get on my water vibe, people. Fiji, they got to drop me the email and the sponsor, man. Trust me. Otherwise, we're going to a different company. We'll change the water. But anyway, Victor Osimhen. The way this story is materialised is they're saying Chelsea have pulled out of the deal. Chelsea apparently are signing this striker from Atletico Madrid. Who I don't actually know too much about. He's been out on loan. And Chelsea have apparently made an offer to get him. And it looks like it's going to be accepted. Which means they are likely to pull out of the deal to sign Victor Osimhen, which is very interesting. Which now kind of leaves him in the lurch a little bit. He's got an offer on the table from Saudi, but all the rumours are saying he doesn't want to go to Saudi. Will Arsenal go back in for him? Again, he was left out of the squad for the pre-season friendly for Napoli. Napoli are saying it's over. It's over as far as they're concerned. They want to sign Lukaku. Antonio Conte has worked with him before. He said he doesn't want players that are not fully committed to the club. and he's sort of being left out in the lurch now. Do we go back in for Victor Osimhen? Now, a year ago, his agent had a meeting with Edu at the training ground. Clearly, Arsenal have been interested in him. The rumours were at the start of the season, at the start of pre-season, that we were interested in him again. But the release clause was out of our range of possibility at 110 million. They're now saying Napoli willing to accept around 90 million euros, which is around 82 million pounds. It feels doable, but are Arsenal even prepared to pay that kind of money for Victor Osimhen? And is he good enough? If you're getting at 80 million, should we be buying Gyökeres? Or should we be buying Osimhen? Or should we drop down to the Ivan Toney deal? But the Ivan Toney deal seems completely off the table. The club just don't seem to be interested in him. What do you guys think? A lot of you saying Watkins, but like I said, Watkins signed a 4-year deal last summer. He's the main player at Villa. They've got rich owners. They're in the Champions League. You're just not getting Ollie Watkins out of Villa unless you absolutely blow up the market, which we are not going to do this summer. I can't accept the fact that Arsenal are going to have such a quiet window. I just think that Arsenal, towards the end of this window, are going to do something. They have to. You finished twice to Pep Guardiola. Last season, we had a very proactive window. Surely Arteta must think we've got to do some big business again. You can't think that Calafiori and Merino is enough to overtake Manchester City, because it's not. City will do some business late on. They've got Savio, who was one of the best wingers in La Liga last year. They've just made 83 million off Alvarez. I'm sure they'll reinvest. We have got to do something in this window. We have to. Otherwise, it won't be enough. We'll be scrambling again. So I'm keeping the faith. You gotta have faith. Dun, dun, dun. We gotta do something. How B said, "You want a striker? Come and get Nunes, bro." I said a striker. You know, the impetus is on they can score goals. I don't want Darwin Nunes. Darwin Nunes, you know, his shots will be going in the River Thames. We don't want Darwin. That is for sure. Darwin Nunes is like, I don't know. I watch Darwin. I always think this guy has got all the capabilities of being an absolute top-class player. But he just doesn't have the composure, does he? And that is one of the biggest factors of being a striker. Ferguson from Brighton. I always said with Ferguson it was too early. And it didn't happen for him last season. In fact, he's kind of been overtaken by João Pedro. 6 goals last year for Ferguson, 27 games. He hasn't developed. People saying he's the new Wayne Rooney. No, it doesn't look like he is the new Wayne Rooney. Maybe in a year or two, but not at the moment. Nunes is like going to McDonald's for a salad. It's pointless. It's just crazy. He is a crazy player to watch, that is for sure. If Havertz got injured, we'd suffer. Can't believe I'm saying that. Yeah, do you know why, Jake? Because of the style of football, to be honest. Gabriel Jesus, the one thing I credit Havertz is Havertz gets in the penalty area. Havertz gets big chances nearly every time you see him play. Gabriel Jesus spends most of the time running around the pitch doing the Lacazette during lockdown. So the reality of the situation is this. Start of the season, Kai Havertz is up front. That's the reality of the situation. With the options that we've got at the moment, Kai Havertz our best striker. And it's unbelievable that I'm saying that. Unbelievable. A year ago, I would have been like, nah, no chance. Yeah, he's our best striker. The reality of the situation. Gabriel Jesus ain't getting you enough goals to win a title. And we've tried with Jesus. He's not the answer. And this is desperation and hopium that I'm about to say here. Havertz got 13 league goals last season and he played half a season up front. So Arteta's thinking, and again, this is not me agreeing with it. This is me saying what I think they're thinking. I think their thought process is Havertz got 13 goals in half a season up front. If he played a full 38-game season up front, I think they believe that he could get close to 20 goals. That's not what I want to be hearing. That's not what I want. But that's what I think they believe. Now, if that happens, as I say, people, you can't be wrong and strong. If Havertz scores 20 league goals and we win the league, I mean, miracle. Absolute miracle. Not impossible, but not likely in my opinion. But we'll see. Fabrizio's just tweeted, Marseille have explored a move for Wahi in the last 24 hours. While Eddie Nketiah option remains on the table after Arsenal open to discussing terms after the bid was rejected last week, Marseille are reflecting the Moukoko deal is a separate deal. So, listen, Marseille are looking at other options. They may come back for Eddie, but are they going to put the price up? Arsenal apparently want 35 million euros, which is around 35 million pounds. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Osimhen is good in the air and a speed merchant, said Henry Chris. Snake Eye said, Big C, Havertz can't hold the ball up and he's poor in the air. We need Ivan Toney. You know my thoughts on Toney, people. I would take him, especially for £50 million. No-brainer, but the club don't seem to want him. Ben Guna Stab, one player in, one player sold. This has been a shocking window. Edu needs to wake up. And again, you're right. We need to be looking at Edu. What is going on? Why have you done so little business? Why have you not sold players? You know? Osimhen is very untidy, said Cello. The thing for me with Havertz, I think Havertz can score goals. I just don't think he's clinical enough. I think in big moments, in big games where you need that real Haaland kind of level finisher, I just think Havertz is way off that. And that's my worry. Johnny's World, thank you for the super chat, bro. Big fan of your show, bruv. Kenya representing. Big up your damn self. Jitesh said he was born in Fiji. Keep repping the Fiji water. Fiji is a beautiful place. Highly recommended going to Cloud9. To be honest, not sure about Osimhen. I've always said with Osimhen, and I stand by it, I've watched him play. I don't see a £100 million football player. I just don't see it. I do not see it. However, beggars can't be choosers. Is Victor Osimhen a better striker than Kai Havertz? I think he is. I think he scores more goals than him. I think he's quicker. When I watched Osimhen play, he looks quite difficult to play against. He's 6 foot plus. He's quite quick for a big man. He's a bit unorthodox, but he can score goals. So I'm in a position where it's kind of like, would Osimhen have been my first choice? Not really. Would I take Osimhen right now ahead of Kai Havertz? Absolutely. He's a striker. He runs. He's quick. He's a problem. He's somebody that I think can score a lot of goals in an Arsenal shirt. So, yeah, I would take him. And especially if you can get him at a lower price. If you can get him out of there for 75, 80 million, I think in this market, it's a deal you would have to take. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Listen, yeah, he won a title with Napoli. He created history over there. A lot of people criticise him on AFCON, but I think that was a difficult tournament for him overall. 15 goals last year in 25 games, 26 the year before. I'd take a risk on him, but I agree with you, Lay. Osimhen cannot link up play the way Havertz is. The team will suffer if Osimhen is our main striker. I mean, the thing is, a lot of people said when Haaland went to Man City, they'll struggle to adapt to him because he's not so much of a link-up striker. But sometimes you have to adjust your game a little bit and say, okay, Osimhen won't link up play the way Havertz will, which he won't. But what he will do, he'll get in the penalty area. He'll make runs in behind. Physically, he'll impose himself more on the centre-backs. And maybe you've then got to put more crosses in. I think Odegaard is crying out for an Osimhen. Somebody that makes runs in behind where he can start playing the through ball and create chances and somebody's finishing those chances. Rather than us continuing having a striker that comes short to get the ball to feet. So my thought process, he wouldn't have been my first choice, but I would take him. I would take him. Tazreddy, big up, bro. Hey, Big C, greetings from Detroit. Edu thinks every team should want to deal with Arsenal, then sits on his hands. Yeah, 100%. Arsenal's reputation is different to the reputation of Edu. Edu has to build up his reputation in the market. Niffin said, Arsenal are now more reasonable with their demands for Marseille for Eddie and Ketia. It remains to be seen whether the French club will relaunch. Yeah, let's hope it's not too late. All of a sudden, that 27 million euros doesn't look too bad, does it? You know? Future ready, why not play Jesus on the wings and get a striker? I have no problem with that. I said before, ideal world, Arsenal buy a striker and a winger in this window. But I would be happy with Jesus being Saka's backup right winger. I think he looked decent there. You get me the quality striker now, keep Jesus as the backup winger, and you get the backup winger next summer. I think we can survive with that and still win a title potentially. Shah said, I'd rather get Gyökeres or Tony, but if we got Osimhen, you won't see me upset. And I kind of, with Gyökeres, I can't fully commit to that deal because I have not seen enough of him. So I don't know. Nunez is chaotic. He makes me laugh. He's more funny than a goal scorer. You're right. Curtis, no trophy this season. Arteta out. I mean, listen, he's got to win something for me. He has to. Listen, this context. He could finish second by 2 points and get to a Champions League final, lose to Real Madrid last minute and Mbappe goal. But, yeah, it's got to be a trophy for me. It's got to be. So, we'll see. We'll see. It's a massive season for the football club. It really is. People, there we go. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Only 50 minutes today we've got to. There isn't a whole heap of news, to be honest, outside of that. Like I said, Fabrizio just tweeted about Eddie, but he's just saying Marseille are weighing up their options, basically. Hopefully they come back in and sign him because we need to raise money to bring players in. As I said, people, no watch-along today. I will be at the game tonight by Leverkusen against Arsenal. Fitz said you said the same about Isak. I know, bro. I tried to remain positive, but that story disappeared real quick. Big up, Fitz. I will be at the game tonight, so there'll be no show. I am on Bleacher Report tonight at 10 o'clock. So if you're about and you've got the Bleacher Report app, I'll be doing a 20-minute show on there. So if you want to watch some content later on after the game, I'll do that. If not, I'll be back here 2 p.m. tomorrow. We'll discuss the game, go into more detail, hopefully get some transfer news. We'll have press conference reaction with Mikel Arteta. And we'll look ahead to the weekend. So, people, thank you very much for giving up your time. Take care. Enjoy the game tonight. Hopefully, Arsenal get a win. I believe it's on the Arsenal website to watch. Tough game against Bayer Leverkusen. Of course, the return of Granit Xhaka. He said a few things in the last few days. To be honest, the Xhaka return does not bother me that much. You know, he frustrated me for nearly every season apart from his last season at the club. It doesn't bother me, but it'll be interesting to see Boniface, Wirtz, Frimpong, and a number of other good players. So let's see how that goes. Take care, enjoy the game tonight, and I will see you all tomorrow, 2 p.m. people. Bless.